And we're off and running. So both players getting through the first part of the intro, no problem. Like I said, both our players are very accustomed to X1, excuse me. So it's all about the Bs. What will the B-Bladers do? Ooh, Soppa gets a passive, but he only gets through with one bonk, so that's really good. So even if he gets a passive on the second B, he's fine. Darren took 2 hits, but he didn't get a passive. But he does get a passive here, but he should be fine regardless. So Soppa's off to a quick lead, I think, by maybe a second. And he's got some HP to work with for task cars. Darren is already under 3 HP, so he's not going to have to worry about that later. We've seen many times when people try to go for task cars, they tend to get an unlucky shot and they end up dying just before the end of the stage. Ooh, Darren has to stop to avoid a potential bonk or even a health pickup. Soppa is going to go for task cars. Looks like he gets it. So Soppa's at 1 HP, Darren's at 2. So they just have to take down 2 cars quickly, and then Vaughn will spawn. Val will spawn. Looks like Soppa might be a couple of seconds ahead coming out of the intro. Looks like he got a pretty good Val. Darren looks like he got a good Val also. So when this tournament was organized, Darren actually set the first world record in the category with a mid 104, I think, and since then Luis has took it down to a high 102. But Darren is very skilled with the low percent S categories of all 3X games. So I look for Darren to have a kind of advantage over Soppa. But Soppa is a high-level X1 runner in both 80% and 100%, so... and Darren as well. Darren also is a good X1 runner. So we'll have to see who gets the lead coming out of this game. So they're both using slope jump mechanics to make it up these ledges. So it looks like we're still at a 2-second differential coming into the Dash Boots capsule. Soppa gets the no stop. Darren had to slow down just a bit, but he's through. So coming up on the end here, Soppa's got a charge shot ready. There's a couple of different ways you can take down these snowball throwers, but you do kind of have to stop a little bit. So now for Chill Penguin. So they both obviously are going to start with this full charge. It's always automatic, and they're both getting a slide right away. Oh, and they're both getting the same pattern, identical. Okay, and now Darren gets a jump. Soppa gets a jump. Darren gets a slide. Soppa now is getting the shotgun ice pattern, which is really what you want to see. Wow. Soppa got a really nice penguin. Darren's going to fall a little bit behind. Oh man, just another slide to really add insult to injury. So you see Darren's not quite in the middle of the screen, so he's going to have to walk before the victory fanfare begins. And Soppa was already at the center, so he didn't have to walk. So Soppa is off to a quick lead. So Kuwanger, the big climbing stage in X1. Ooh, I don't think Soppa's gonna make the turtle skip. Nope. Took a couple of hits there and doesn't quite get there. If you get to that turtle within a certain amount of time, as Darren did, that first turtle won't fire any torpedoes at you. I don't look for either runner to get any safety items, but this is a race. This isn't their typical personal best attempts, so we may see someone pick up an item, but I don't think we'll see it, but you never know. So Soppa's already got the ice out, getting ready for this final section. So he's firing the ice kind of at point blank, so then hit the turret multiple times as the shotgun ice separates. So now for the Kuwanger dance for Soppa, and it looks like he's got it. If you're right in front of Kuwanger after he takes a hit, he's going to try to dash up to you and grab you. And you can actually loot this for at least half his health. He can go all the way to the end. But once Kuwanger starts teleporting, you basically stand in the center, and you just pay attention to where he shows up, and then unload your charge shots accordingly. So Soppa looks like he got a good fight. Darren looks like he may have lost a little bit of time on the fight. He missed a shot, I believe. So now we got the probably the easiest stage, the most straightforward, Sting Chameleon. But we always got this cave that we have to worry about, and these falling blocks, which fall at random, but they tend to fall on you all the time. Like, Soppa took a couple of hits from a block. Looks like Darren's getting through so far without any problem. Oh, he takes one right there, but just one hit. So Soppa comes in at 837. $846 for Darren. So as you see, the Sting Chameleon fight here is very, very trivial. Every time he gets hit with a boomerang, he goes to the opposite side of the room. And with that, both their players are done with Chameleon. So Soppa had pretty good RNG on Penguin earlier. Let's see if he wins the first. Let's see if he wins the Bird Casino for X1 right now. Ooh, Soppa missed the the grab there on that platform, where you grab the bottom of the lift there and you use it to ledge climb up the upper half of that little section there, where you don't have to wait for the moving platform to take you up itself. So he lost a little bit there, but he's still ahead, but not by much. Darren is right on his tail. Eagle could really equalize things if Soppa gets a bad pattern. So they both have the Sting Chameleon ready to go for Eagle. So it's less hits to kill, but he can still get, but they can still get some dives if Eagle wants to do so. But he always starts with the wings flapping. Okay, Soppa's gonna have a good Eagle, man. And it looks like Darren's gonna be okay too. Neither of them gets dives, so Darren's still hanging in there. Looks like maybe 6-7 seconds. 11-16 fade for Soppa. And Darren's at 22. Yep, 6 seconds. So Darren got a couple of seconds from that little error from Soppa. So now we see a bit of a route divergence. We got Soppa going to Mammoth, and we've got Darren going to Mandrill. Mandrill is a more complicated stage than Mammoth is at the moment, since you're constantly swapping among all your weapons. Ooh, and Darren gets hung up in Zam Hallway. Has to wait to get the ice off screen before he can go to the Buster. Whereas Soppa's got a very straightforward Mammoth stage. You just keep moving right. You have to climb a little bit, but the stage is not very difficult. Darren takes down Thunder Slimer. Looks like he got a very good pattern there. So Soppa's already at the end of Mammoth. So Mammoth is a very short stage compared to Mandrill is. So we won't know who is ahead until we probably get to Octo. Soppa makes quick work of Mammoth, and Darren's going into the Mandrill fight. So the aim here is to get Mandrill frozen, and then before he breaks out of his ice, there you hit him again with the ice, and then hopefully if Mandrill doesn't punch, getting these additional ice hits shouldn't be much of a problem. And right there, just before the last hit is dealt, Darren gets into the middle of the room so that he doesn't have to worry about the walk before the fanfare. So Soppa's going into Mandrill now. So as you see how he gets through Zam Hallway, he didn't have to pause like Darren had to at the start. And let's see how the Thunder Slimer fight goes for Soppa here. Boomerangs are the best weapon to use on Thunder Slimer, but if Thunder Slimer doesn't come to the floor, you kind of have to use Storm Tornado a little bit. But luckily for Soppa, Thunder Slimer cooperates. Boomerang Cutter and Chameleon Sting deal, I think, 4 damage a hit. The Storm Tornado deals a little bit less. You only use Storm Tornado to deal damage when you can't necessarily stay in the air yourself. That was a pretty good stage from Soppa on Mandrill. Ooh, Darren gets hit by that bat and almost falls off of the cart. Darren does not go for any safety items. I don't suppose Soppa will either. Now, Soppa starts off with an ice shot here instead of the charge shot, so Yeah, that very last hit's a little scarier because Mandrill, since he's coming out of his ice prison, he can kind of do the punch at the very end and just not take damage from the ice because he closes the distance on the iframes. Darren gets a good armadillo pattern. So Darren finishes armadillo, but he still has mammoth to complete, and Soppa's starting armadillo right now. Okay, Darren's going to Octo right now, so he'll have Flame Mammoth last. So, Octopus has these two submarines you have to destroy. He's going to start here by standing away from the submarine. And you want to see the submarine deploy the little eels, but you didn't get that pattern. You probably didn't stand far enough away. And then for the second pattern, you want to be up close, and then the submarine will try to push you away. So both of those patterns, the submarine's not going to do anything threatening to you. And then we've got the Udoboros here just before the Octo fight that Darren has to take out the Storm Tornado. Looks like Soppa got a pretty good armadillo pattern as well. And even if Armadillo starts rolling, he doesn't have his shield anymore, so he's able to take damage from the electric spark. Ooh, Darren misses that initial buster shot. And since he doesn't have the fire wave weapon that people like to use to ensure an instant escape from Octo's energy drain, he has to wait these tornadoes out. Oh, and he misses the last shot, but luckily he breaks out and doesn't get infinited. And since Mammoth is a very easy stage, Darren probably likes to get all of the harder stages done first. You probably won't see any of the runners. Well, you definitely didn't see Darren do it. I don't think you'll see Soppa do it either, but you can use the boomerang cutter for 3 hits, and that'll cut off Octopus's tentacles, and that will prevent the bigger torpedoes and the energy drain attack, but it's a couple of seconds investment to do that. So with Darren getting a couple of tornadoes, if Darren or if Soppa can get a good Octo here, he's going to have a little bit of a lead. It won't be much, though, because Darren's about to get to the Mammoth fight himself. So you see here's Soppa doing the fire wave strat. And Soppa gets out of X1 right about the 1902 mark. So Darren is about, I want to say 10 seconds. That might be right. Okay, I know what Soppa did. Soppa started a little early, which I caught that. So he just waited at the intro, just to be fair, which is perfectly fine. Yeah, you do have to wait 30 seconds before you start the next game. So Soppa just took a wait there at the start, and just to make sure it was fair. Yeah, in tournament, since everyone plays on different platforms and has different control schemes, there's a 30-second wait period between starting each game to set up all that. But sometimes when you're doing PB attempts, you just go right into the next game. You don't wait, obviously. Hopefully Soppa remembers that before starting X3. I'm sure he will. So Soppa does pick up a heart tank in X2. We've seen a few players do that already. Just having a couple extra health will come in handy for a couple boss fights. Specifically Moth and potentially Stag and Centipede and Crab. Looks like Darren opted not to get the heart tank, so he's automatically going to make up time on that. Unless he picks up a heart tank later. But now, just like at X1 with Penguin, Sponge here can equalize this with RNG also. So, dash hits or a full buster charge at the start for 2 damage, and then we want Sponge to do the same pattern that he just did for Soppa before he gets under 10 HP. If not, he'll have to trigger the Angry Sponge and wait. So it looks like he opts to do that. So if Darren gets a good sponge, he can make up time. Uh-oh. Doesn't look like he's getting it. And Darren's waiting too. He's waiting on that sponge. Oh, he gets it, but he's behind him. So he automatically stops the attack when you go behind Sponge. So they're both getting Angry Sponge. So I think Darren lost more time than he probably should have. Oh no, and he dies. Sponge deals a lot of damage on contact. That might be the break Soppa needed, because looking ahead to X3, Darren is super strong in that game. So if Soppa comes in with a good lead in the X3, this could come down to the wire. So there's the pattern Darren wanted before he triggered Angry Sponge. Only gets the double uppy on the second go-around. This game is mean. But is he going to get it in time? Yes, he does. He does get him down in just the nick of time. That'd be really bad if you got 2 Angry Sponges and a death on top of it. So Soppa is getting the Buster upgrade in X2. Nothing is required in X2, but the Buster upgrade actually helps with not only charged weapon usage in fights, but since the Strike Chain and the Speed Burner, especially charge, enhance your mobility, it'll save some time in the stages as well. So Soppa is going to have to play really strong and not make any mistakes to hold this lead that he has. So if Darren can still make this comeback. And like I said before, Darren has played low percent, so he does know how to get through X3 without the up dash boots. As you see, the strike chain pulls X closer to the walls, so you'll see that Soppa is going for the one cycle gator. Oh, he misses it. Oh man, that's going to cut into his lead. And okay, Soppa gets gator in a 2 cycle. That's not bad. He may have lost maybe 5, 6, 7 seconds, maybe. But Darren has to match or do a little bit better. So let's see how Darren does here. Darren gets the 1 cycle, so he's made up some time. So now for some climbing in X2, and Flame Stag's a really good example of that. Okay, Soppa elects to pick up the heart tank here. The Flame Stag heart tank is the fastest to obtain. It's even faster than the sponge tank, just by a little bit. Oh, but Soppa misses a dash jump, or he fell off one of those pillars, and he ends up getting held up by the Beatron before the final climb. Okay, Soppa takes that health. So, Soppa opting with the... Oh, he's getting good fireball RNG. That's good. That resets the Stag's invincibility, so he's able to get hits faster. So, Soppa gets a decent fight out of that. So, they both come into this fight with the second Buster Shot, and they're going to fire that at the start for a quick 4 damage. And then just a series of dash shots here. And Darren's going to climb with Stag. A little bit more execution heavy. Oh, he's going to climb again. Darren's going all out on the strats. He knows he's behind. So he's got to go complete yellow almost. That's kind of the risk with that strat that Darren uses. You have to damage boost a lot. But since this isn't any percent, you don't have all the extra heart tanks that you normally do, so you can't damage boost as much. So Darren had to stop there. He stopped with 3 HP left, probably to have 1 extra insurance hit in case something went wrong. So Soppa's going Stag third route that we see in any percent. And Darren's using the Shoryuken-less route, which in 24 Mavs, Shoryuken-less route going Moth Fourth is a little faster. It'll get the X-Hunters off the safe select 1 screen sooner. Oh, but Soppa triggers all those alarms, and now he's got to deal with all these blocks falling really fast. The more alarms you trigger, the faster they fall. And he doesn't want to get hit. Okay, he doesn't get hit by the, he doesn't get scanned. That's good. That's definitely a time loss if that happens. Because the scanner will actually make Raider Killer stronger. He'll get additional attacks and he changes color. So Soppa's going into the Centipede fight here. We're looking for the Tailspin attack from Centipede, and that allows Soppa to potentially lock Centipede in the Tailspin via the Tailspin glitch. Okay, he doesn't get it immediately. He doesn't get it the second time, so we're going to see a jump from Centipede. More Magnet Attractor from Centipede. Another one. So we got one more turn. 5 Magnet Attractors in a row. Wow, so another jump coming. 6 in a row. Let's go. Oh, he gets caught, but that's okay. Wow, 7 Magnet Attractors in a row, almost. Gee. Well, that's better than shurikens and teleports. I'll say that much. So, Centipede has a pattern with his attack number of attacks. At the very start, he'll do 2 attacks if you don't knock him out of his footing position. And then he'll do 3, and then jump, and 3 more. So, whenever Centipede's about to jump, you notice Soppa went to the ceiling there. That's simply because Centipede wants to stay away from you as much as possible. So, using the laws of magnetism, he's going to stay away from you, or repel himself from you. So if you're on the top half of the room when he does his jump, he's going to go to the bottom half. But if you're on the bottom half of the room and he jumps, he's going to turn around and grab the ceiling. So you actually manipulate Centipede where you want him to go, and you always want him to be on the ground as much as possible. Because it's much easier to deal with Centipede on the ground than it is on the ceiling. So, Darren finished the moth fight. And now he's going to Centipede himself. Oh, Darren, oh man. Darren missed a jump and almost jumped right into the path of the falling block. But he caught himself. So now for the Crystal Cell fight for Soppa. He's going to buffer a lemon, hit him with the second charge, do another dash lemon, and do the magnet. Darren gets chop register kill, very good. And Soppa gets the quick kill on Snail. So once Snail gets ejected from a shell, he's going to jump back to it to try to pick it up. And then Soppa's going to have a charged magnet mine to instantly get Snail into the to the second half of the quick kill. The speed of the magnet mine when charged goes just as fast as Snail gets knocked back, so you can constantly keep it on top of him since you can control where it goes. And then you kick the shell so that it'll be in the corner where Snail's going to end up when he finishes the fight. Let's see what Darren gets for Centipede. He also gets Magnet Attractor. He gets Shurikens, and then he's going to jump. So we got 3 attacks now, and he gets Centipede on the first one. And he looks like he almost overslid on the wall to get the Tailspin glitch, but he got it. You can't overslide and not get it. You have to execute that just right. And with that, Darren's going to make up some time on Soppa's lead. Soppa gets the bike into the desert base. And it looks like he didn't get it through the door. Nope, it crashed. So Soppa's coming into the ostrich fight here. Since you do have his weakness, this fight's a lot faster than the ostrich third Buster duel. Whenever you freeze him with the Crystal Hunter, just like in Spark Manjo and X1, you can hit him again while he's froze. And then every time he breaks out of the ice, he does the jump. and then he does an iframe reset at the peak of that jump. So you can quickly get a dash limit into ice shot if Ostrich doesn't have the high ground. Unfortunately, Soppa had to wait there. As you see how high Ostrich jumps, if that happens, you just have to wait for him to come down. So Darren's coming up on the Crystal Snail fight. So a lot of the strats here mimic any percent. So if you're an X2 any percent runner, a lot of this comes very natural. So you don't have to learn any new strats when you do 24 Mavericks because it's basically the same. You don't pick up any items. So Darren does the same thing. When the snail comes after the shell, he gets hit with the charged magnet, gets knocked back. And then when you hit the shell, snail wants to go after that shell. That's all he's wanting is that shell. So he's not really attacking you until he gets his shell back. And that's how that quick kill's pretty simple. A lot of these stages are very short. Bubble Crab stage is very short. Ostrich is very short. Even Flame Stags is very short. So, looks like Soppa's got a stage lead, but Soppa has Morph Moth left, and that's the longest stage in X2. So the objective here for the Bubble Crab fight is once you get the wheel on top of the crab, you want to position yourself to where that crab's constantly doing the attack that you're seeing when he just activates his shoulder claws and tries to jump up into you. But you do have to be careful because you don't want to take too much damage. Oh, did Darren get the bike through the door? Did he? Oh, he almost did. Like I said, I think there was one frame where if you jump to the door, or if you jump into the door as the bike comes right into it, the bike will go through. So Darren's turn on the Ostrich fight. As you see, you gotta take the high ground in this Ostrich fight. That's how you get these double hits on Ostrich. Oh, he missed a shot. Oh, that's unfortunate. Or did he? I can't remember. I don't think he missed a shot. I think he shot an extra time and just shot the other way. No, you can't get back on the bike once it's moving. Once the bike is taken off, you're not gonna you can't outspeed it. It's so fast. So Darren's into Bubble Crab, his last Maverick in X2. Soppa's finishing up his last Maverick also. Darren activating the speed burner in midair so that he gets a lot more aerial speed as he falls down to the bottom of the sea here. And that's where the speed burner really comes in handy because when you activate it, you get faster movement than your actual dash. And you can carry that as you go into the water, so you're able to, you know, travel a big distance. Soppa takes down the first phase of Moth. Oh, he's waiting on Moth. That's not a bad decision. Or did he run out of burner? I'm not sure. He may have run out of burner. But Soppa does take down Moth, so he's gonna get X3 loaded. Darren's getting ready to enter X3 himself. Sometimes Crab can jump like that, and that can throw off everything. You can only have one spin wheel on screen at any time. Okay, Soppa begins X3. Darren is just behind, maybe by about 25 seconds, I want to say. If Soppa can play solid in X3, he can hold this down and get the W. But if Soppa gets those dash boots, his lead's going to be almost wiped clean because Darren's not going to pick him up. So Darren's going to have the advantage coming into X3 because this is probably his strongest game of the three. And though he's strong in all of them, but I think he's the strongest here. Soppa taking a lot of damage in the intro. That's not helping matters much. Okay, 0 for Soppa. He started at 41.24 when 0 got movement. So let's see how far Darren's behind. Looks like 20 seconds. So yeah, if Soppa gets the dash boots, Darren will not for sure. So it looks like we maybe even come out of Buffalo potentially. So for the intro boss here, you want to start and end with a full charge shot, and then in between use green charge shots. Unless you get hit, like where Soppa did right there, and he'll fire the second full charge early. Oh man, Soppa's getting hit multiple times here. Soppa gets a nice dodge at the start. Looks like they both have about average intro boss fights. Soppa teleports out at 43 flat. Looks like Darren's going to be out potentially at 43.20. 43.18. So 18 seconds now. And it takes about that long to get the dash boots for Soppa. So, this is going to really be close. Oh, Soppa misses a dash jump there. So, in X3, especially in Buffalo, where you got these ice physics, when you jump off the slope, you get insane horizontal speed. So you want to jump in the air to keep that momentum. Oh man. Soppa having to climb the ladder. What's really odd is if you're holding up at any point in that gap, you'll grab the ladder, and then you're pretty much going to have to climb up. So directional... So holding your directions in specific places on your D-pad is pretty key in this game. So with that, Darren takes the lead since he bypasses the boots. So just like that, Darren is back in the lead. After that death from X1. Darren using a bootless form of the CFO strat, where you dash back and then you walk forward and then jump at the right time. Ooh, Darren doesn't maintain the lock. So Soppa is doing the traditional buffalo kill. So now I think Darren's ahead by about 15 seconds. So X3 is really about vertical movement, as you're going to see quite a few stages involve climbing. And this is probably the biggest stage of them all. Ooh, he gets the ladder gap. Darren, insane at low percent. So Darren's got the ice for the mini boss here. And gets an insane kill. Oh, Soppa almost completely gets a full Buster Mash on the mini boss. Darren trying to position himself in the right spot to get those gap jumps. So Darren's coming into the quick kill for Seahorse. Short version, hit him in the air, and then just before he jumps out, there's a period where you can hit him with the Frost Shield, and it won't trigger his invincibility. So you just saw that from Darren's side. You'll see it on Soppa here, hopefully. Okay, Soppa has to reset the cycle here. Oh, he didn't quite get the 2 cycle. And with Darren having wide experience in low percent, he's gonna tear through this game. He's already made up, I think, 40 seconds on Soppa in X3 already. Or he was 20 behind, and now it looks like he's about 20 ahead. Just because he skipped the dash boots. So now we got our favorite stage, Tunnel Rhino. Now Bit can show up in one of the next 3 stages. You kind of don't want to see him show up here because you're going to be needing to deboost into the mini boss later. But it's random, and sometimes you just can't avoid it. Like right now, Darren has to fight Bit. So the objective for the Bit fight, start with a Buster Shot, hit him with his true weakness for 10 hits, and then finish him off with the Buster Shot to avoid the explosion animation. Oh, Darren missed a shot. Okay, Stoppa doesn't get bit in this stage. So it appears Stoppa is ahead, but he really isn't. He's still behind by about 20 seconds. Because you can't complete 24 Mavericks until you've defeated Bit and Bite in the 8 Mavericks section of the game. So Darren and Soppa trying to get in. Ooh, Soppa doesn't get placed properly. Oh man, okay. Darren has a little bit more HP than Soppa. Soppa's gonna need a drop. Darren's hoping for a drop. That will make the ending a little easier. Okay, Darren passes up the drop. Will that come back to bite him? Because these balls of dirt deal a lot of damage. And if you make one wrong move... Okay, Darren makes it through. Looks like Soppa's going to make it through too, but he's going to be behind. Oh, Darren already took a hit on Rhino, and now he's at 1 HP. So Darren can't do any faster damage boosting strat that will reduce the charge animation of his desperation attack. So he has to just avoid it. Oh, Stoppa getting hit during the charge, and when that happens, you get a little bit of a lag. Okay, they're both through Rhino. No deaths. So Rhino's a very dangerous stage, especially if you have to fight Bit, because that's just more opportunity to take damage if you're not careful. So once again, we have a route divergence. We got Darren going the low percent route, following the weakness order. Soppa is using the 80% route and going to Neon Tiger. So Soppa is using the up dash to zip through that dragonfly. You'll see a different strat Darren will use to get by that same dragonfly later. Soppa is going into the Wormseeker mini-boss. Needs 5 shots. Oh, he's not going to make it in time. So it's a 4-second loss if you don't one-cycle the worm. So Soppa is coming up on the next Bit and Bite room in this stage. We may see him appear here, but if he doesn't show up for Soppa here, the next stage Soppa goes in, he will show up there. Okay, let's see if Soppa gets bit. No, so he will show up in the next stage, which will be Catfish. So Darren's fighting Catfish now. So the aim here is to hit him with Buster as much as possible. And then, hopefully, when Catfish gets below half health, or before that, he'll jump as much as possible. But as you see, Catfish doesn't really want to cooperate. He just instantly threw out the ground spark. You want to see the Triumph Thunder because that attack lasts longer, which allows you to get more Buster shots in before Catfish jumps to the center of the room. Soppa using lemons on Tiger. If you fire any charge shots at Neon Tiger while he's on the ground and not doing anything, he will block. And he's invincible in the blocking animation. So having Tiger on the wall isn't bad. It just makes getting hits on him a little harder to do. And furthermore, Soppa doesn't have Tiger's weakness weapon to force him to jump to the wall during his desperation HP level. Which, if you get a charge like Tiger did for Soppa there, you're going to lose a little bit of time. Darren might show off a new strat here in Crawfish. Just as he gets into the submarine area, there's a little chicken robot that's blocking his path. He's probably going to shoot one shot and go to Try Thunder. Oh, he misses the acid shot there. So here it comes. He's going to shoot one lemon. And then... Oh, he misses the lemon shot. Yeah, Soppa's coming up on the mandatory Bit fight now. Bit did not show up in the first or second stage that he could have appeared in. So now he does have to show up here in the third stage. So Darren's getting ready to do the Crush Crawfish Quick Kill. Just like in Seahorse, when you hit Crawfish with his weakness, there's a period of time where he doesn't have any iframes. And it's right after that Try Thunder goes off screen, he swaps the Buster and can actually mash out with the lemons, with the Buster shots. You can't spam Try Thunder, so you have to swap to another weapon that you can get multiple hits in within a small amount of time. And Buster seems to be the only good candidate. Soppa finishes off Bit, but not without taking a lot of damage in the process. Soppa, okay, finally he gets a big health increase. One of the benefits of X3, since you take a lot more damage from enemies, is that when you defeat an enemy with the Frost Shield, if it touches the ceiling or the ground, it actually drops health. Whether it's a small or a big refill is random. So Darren's quick kill on the Wormseeker is a little bit harder because you don't have the air dash, but it's still possible. Let's see if he gets it. Yep, easy. Let's see if Catfish can be nice. Nope. Soppa hit him with the Buster shot right before he was jumping into the middle of the room. So Soppa's gonna have a 7 drill, I think, which is really long. Okay, no bite for Darren going into the Tiger fight. Now you'll see a difference here with Darren. He's going to do the same thing Soppa did. Alternate between the lemons and the Buster shot. Oh, nice. Using the drills to deactivate the enemy hitboxes so he doesn't take 8 damage from a contact hit. So you'll see Darren constantly alternate between lemons and the Buster shot. But when he gets Tiger right down to 10 health, he's going to go to the spinning blade. And Tiger has a fixed AI when he gets hit with a spinning blade. He'll jump to the top of the room like he's doing right now. And that avoids the invincibility phase that Tiger has. But if he stays on the wall, this helps too. He doesn't have to worry about the blades if Tiger stays up there. That's a pretty good Tiger fight. You definitely don't want to see any charges, because that takes forever. Soppa coming into the crushed crawfish fight here in about the next 20 seconds. Darren with 2 stages to go. Spinning Blade is a very powerful weapon, as you can see here. Okay, Darren does get bite here. So for the bite fight, he's going to start off with a lemon. Oh, did he throw the drill the wrong way? He may have possibly misfired that. Oh man, this isn't helping matters much. If you get caught in Bite's clutches, he's going to toss you around like a rag doll. Oh, Soppa ended up dying on the crushed crawfish fight. I think he got a little too close to that claw. That's unfortunate. Ooh, Darren takes another death, but fortunately for Darren, he just crossed the checkpoint. So he's not going to lose that much ground. If Darren died at the very end of the stage, just before the door, that would have been a bad death to have. But that's not a terrible death on Darren's part. Because there's no continue point between that point after the bit and bite door and beetle until the end of the stage where you get into the boss corridor. So if Darren died at the end after doing all the elevator stuff and the door transitions, he'd have to go through all that again. And in X3, the stages are a little bit longer than X1 and X2, so deaths are a lot more punishing in particular places. Soppa trying to make his way into... Okay, he makes it to the bit and bite room. Let's see if he gets Bite to appear. And yes, he does. So the beetle fight is very, very straightforward. Hit him with a buster shot, and then follow up with 10 erase buster shots. When you hit a boss with their true weakness weapon in X3, they have an extended period of invincibility. So instead of the typical 60 frames you're used to seeing of invincibility, it's more like maybe 75, 80 frames. So Soppa is about 2/3 of a stage behind. And Darren's going into the final stage. Let's see. And he gets the low percent iceless jumps. So it looks like Darren's got a free ride to the end here. And he just has to take down the Shuriken and then Hornet, and he's done. So 6 shots with the acid. And it has to be full acid shots. It can't be the smaller residual shots. No, it's 120 frames per catfish. And it's about roughly 90 for the Mavericks. For the extended invincibility. Look at that beetle right now. It looks more like 90 frames. And Darren's already fought Bite, so he doesn't have to worry about that here. if you die in Hornet before you get to the boss fight, and after you pass the halfway point, that's probably the most punishing death. If not Catfish, I'd say Catfish is roughly the equal. But Darren going with the spinning blades. Even though Gravity Whale is the true weakness, the spinning blades are a lot better because they don't trigger the extended invincibility, and plus the blades only deal half as much damage. Yeah, Rano's is also bad. And with that, Darren has finished with a 105.35 in the race spot. So he will move on to face FS Lynx in the quarterfinals, and our Elite 8 is set. Soppa at 1 HP. Okay, he's got the ice, so he's hoping for a drop. And he gets one. So, Hornet being pretty nice right there. You want Hornet to fire his babies into the wall there. It reduces lag, and it just keeps the Hornets out of your way so that they're not in your way when you're trying to hit Hornet, because the Hornets those mini Hornets can take damage from the blades also. And Soppa finishes, and looks like he may have got a PB out of that. Or that's just his timer. I don't think Soppa has his splits up, so it looks like a PB. I'm not sure if it is, but I'll have to ask him. Alright, let's see if, I don't know if our players are in here for a post-race interview. Looks like Darren might be jumping in here. Looks like Darren's going to try to jump in here for our post-race interview. We'll see if Soppa wants to do the same.
Yo, what's up, Justin?
Yo, there's Darren. Congrats on advancing to the Elite 8.
The stream going. What did you say?
Congrats on advancing.
Thank you.
Despite the death at X1, come back and bringing it back for sure.
In X1? No, it was the.
Yeah, Sponge. Sorry, it was Sponge. But
yeah, that was a really costly death because like I had already waited like a bunch and the fight was almost over. I felt so stupid because I was like, all right, he's right next to me. All I gotta do is kick off the wall in case he throws his vine at me, and I dash kicked. And I was like, what?
And then he jumped towards you too, which is like, well, rip.
Dash kick. If I just did a normal kick, I've been fine. What the?
Yeah.
Sopa.
GG's. Finally, I can say I'm done with this.
You have a good X3 experience.
Yeah. I was kind of hoping Sopa could have held on at X3, but Darren's just too good.
The whole run was really fishy for me. I was missing a lot of dash inputs and just. But yeah, I've been practicing low percent X3 a lot lately, so I mean, that is what it is.
All right. So Sopa, how'd you feel about the start of your run? Like, we know X3 wasn't your strongest, but how you feel about X1 and X2? I know you've played those a lot more.
Yeah, like X1 was pretty decent at map time for sure. X2. There's some general sloppiness in every stage because it's been a long time since I played low percent, so I'm kind of doing weird ass hybrid route in X2 and basic any percent route in X3. So yeah, I need to look into these low percents more.
So, Darren, now you face FS Lynx in the quarterfinals. How you feel about that matchup?
I feel pretty good about it. If I remember correctly, I FS Lynx back in the X2 tournament. I think that was like one of the very first races I ever did. Channel, so that'll be interesting.
Yeah, the Elite 8 now is pretty stacked. I'm just going to go over the eight remaining players. We got Louise, we got Maverick, we got yourself, Lynx, Nero, Madhu, Colonel Fatso, and Laseki.
Sounds good. Gonna be some really good matches.
So that will be coming up in the next week or so. I believe we're doing one round a week. So it looks like we got about 3 weeks left of the tournament, at least. We'll make an announcement of it now, but what is it? Next Monday, Speed Gaming will be doing another Chase to the Record, and Sopa here, I believe, is participating in that. Is that right, Sopa?
Sorry?
You're in the Chase for the Record next Monday, right?
No, but
you're not.
I'll still be chasing it.
You'll be chasing the record. Cool. Yeah.
In live stream.
So yeah, we'll announce that. And on next Monday, the Chase for the Record for Mega Man X 80% will be happening. I believe Colonel Fatso, I believe Louise, Energy Zam, and a lot of the other top X runners will be chasing the record that night, and that'll be a very fun watch. So if you're a fan of Mega Man X speedrunning, definitely tune into that in 6 days. It's going to be a good one, I'm sure.
Yeah, do we know what time that's starting on Monday?
9 p.m. Eastern.
I think it's 9 p.m. Eastern time, yep. So that's going to be a fun watch. Any last words for you guys before I take off here?
Thanks for having us. Thanks for the awesome commentary, Justin. As always, top notch. Thanks for racing with me, Darren. Thanks for bopping my ass and taking me out the tournament. I got terminated.
You got
well, anytime.
Dad.
I didn't have much to say other than I'm sure you can list X2 and not die to Sponge. That's probably be a good idea.
You're not the first person to die to Sponge. Probably won't be the last either.
Yeah.
Alrighty, and with that, I'm gonna call it. Thanks for you guys for racing. Thanks to the restreamers and everyone behind the scenes, as always, for making this happen. And hope you guys enjoyed it. Just incredible, signing off for the 24 map tournament, and we'll see you next time for the quarterfinals. So have a good evening, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. Good night.